Hi, welcome to Selfseeds Through the Eyes of the Horse. Nador and I are headed out for a trot around the field. Now, you've been with me on rides with Nador before, and as we go along, I just want to talk about what we're doing, what I'm looking for. In this case, it starts out relaxed. We walk down the road, we start down the road. You've seen this view. Now, today, something's different. The giant tarp thing that hangs for shade for the cows is gone. So I guess in a way that simplifies everything, because that was kind of looking strange having that draped giant tarp out there. But again, it's just all the learning. These water boxes, they'd put down some feed for the cows. And again, what is so incredible is to consider the emotional state of the horse while you're riding. One thing is my emotional state, but the other one that keeps you so fascinated by riding and the partnership is what and how the horse processes everything. It's so cool to see, okay, the tarp's gone. All right, here we go. Now I'm trotting down the road. Now I'm experimenting a little bit with the view. I know you don't see the horse's ears. I'm kind of thinking that that's something that I want to make sure that I include in the future, but some of you were a little bothered by how it was viewing, so I'm just experimenting with the height of the camera, and a little bit you can also see it's at an angle. So as I start off on my ride, the camera is there, but I don't always know what and how it's processing everything. But anyway, so you see us trotting along. When I start out, I start on a loose rein, because I want to give the body of the horse a chance to warm up, if it's safe. So even though I'm a dressage rider for many, many years, the root of my riding was riding long distance. And so we never rode the horses. We rode them organized, but we didn't ride them on the bit, so to speak. But they were definitely in front of the leg in the seat, moving up to the hand, accepting contact, and making subtle adjustments. And so I like the idea of starting out with the longish rein, as long as it's safe again, because again, I'm giving the horse a chance to study the environment and what is making sense for the horse. It gives me, if I can trust the horse, it gives me a great way to read where is the horse, not because I'm holding the horse, but where is the horse as a result of the partnership and the state of the emotion for the horse. Now, as I'm going down this first long line of road, it's a pretty uncomplicated road. They are irrigating on the left side. Water's running, but for Nador, that's, he's a pretty experienced horse that way. And I'm looking at rhythm. Okay, now as I get to the end of this long stretch, I'm going to make a right-hand turn, and all of a sudden, I'm going to be having traffic passing me. So again, what's great is I had that long stretch to let him adjust to being ridden, looking at the environment, what is his state. And a big part for me of getting the horse in front of my seat and my leg is that the horse offers to kind of lengthen and relax into the connection. And there's a very particular feel from the seat and the leg when the horse kind of allows you to click into the inside of its body and takes you forward. A little bit like the step when you're in the airport and you go from walking and you step onto the conveyor belt, and then the conveyor belt starts taking you. And so it's a little like that with the horse. At first you start out and you feel like you're just sitting on the horse and you feel the horse. And then as you get working in kind of this longitudinal connection, all of a sudden the way the horse lengthens its neck, puts the neck out of the shoulders, the height of the withers, how the back end is pushing it, and how the horse starts to reach into the contact, almost is like that feeling like you're stepping onto the conveyor belt. So when I read in books that the horse has to be in front of your leg, I think of course that's true. But I like to think of it more, there's a little manhole on the right-hand side. I like to think of it more like how the top line of the horse hooks up and connects And of course, the top line has to be supported by what's going on inside the horse. So I look at that really as being in front of my leg, is how the top line is hooked up. Now, he's doing A+, with the cars passing both directions. You see the rhythm, although you can't see his head real well, the rhythm is never changing. He's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I love that because it gives me a lot of sense of his emotional state. Because again, I'm not riding him tight on the bit or anything like that. I've got a contact. I'm riding him, as I said, in this conveyor belt filling in his body. I'm moving up into my hand, but with the light contact, and that he's staying rhythmical. And I see the rhythm as a big part of the emotion. Now, I'm showing this section of the square. It's a giant square or rectangle that I'm riding around when I ride around the block. And look at all this stuff that he has to deal with. We've got the cattle trailers on the left, a little bit of water on the right. He's not a big fan of water crossings, but he's getting pretty good at that now. Marie helped me with that. We had some ponds over the summer, and he got to where he liked kind of splashing around in those ponds. That was a big deal. It was cool. Now look, we've got a big pile of discarded oranges, grapefruits on the right. I mean, where do you ride that you have stuff like this? It's like the best stuff training. I call it stuff training. This is like why you can see being at the ranch is a preparation for this. And now I'm out and about and I'm meeting stuff. This big tractor on the right attachment, that's new. Now we got a bunch of date remnants in piles, and they do kind of smell funny. It's not going to get better too as it gets hot, but it's kind of a funky smell. Now we're coming up, and then like we've got a baby cow and its mother coming up in a pen. Now we haven't been this way by it. He's pretty good about cows, but it's something moving, something a little bit unexpected. So I'm checking, does he stay inside of himself in front of my aids? Does he stay in that conveyor belt mode? Oop, a little there. So what he does, you can see, it kind of gets fancy legs going on. He gets kind of in a ball, more like I'm headed towards passage, but he's still on my aids. He's still in front of my seat and my leg. There's a rhythm change, but it's still a steady rhythm. So for me, again, it's like a metronome inside the horse that's helping the mental, emotional, inner state. And that's a big deal. I really thank dressage for that, looking at the quality of the gaits and how the emotions of the horses connect to the quality of the gaits. That it's not, oh, I'm trotting. It's, how am I trotting? Does the horse have a swing, a step, a rhythm, a fluidity? And out here, it's a big test. I mean, you see all the funny stuff that I'm going by. You didn't see it, but there were 3 cranes sitting on that big water tank or milk tank or whatever that was. And they just flew up and flew off. So again, another opportunity for training. Rhythm is coming along here really nicely. And the other part of this, I like training on different kinds of footing. Now this is kind of hard-packed road, but it does useful things for developing their strength and their stifles and their bones and everything. So again, I like having the different footing to work on. And we're rhythmical. And again, he's being just great. There's cows off to the right. There's 2 horses that live there, a chestnut and a black horse, and sometimes they run along the fence with us. And now we're going to go ahead and just walk. So again, his ears are up. And what I love too, when you've got a horse at this level of training, their spine stays really supple and straight inside of that connection. And again, that's part of the advancement. When I ride Claire and Squidward and some of the less advanced horses, I'm really looking at trying to hook up the inside of their body so that they make sense to themselves.